What's going on, gangster? Gregory Scott here. So wow, it's just a beautiful day to make gains. So pretty often here and there, I'll get a question about my physique. They'll ask me how I got shredded, what my training program looks like. For the most part, I'm always happy to answer. Here's the long answer. I commit myself to this lifestyle and place few things above it. I'm willing to sacrifice my time in social events, which includes partying and drinking. I'm willing to deny and discipline myself in order to achieve my goals and keep moving forward. I train in a variety of different movements, which includes ring work, calisthenics, sprint work, explosive plyometrics, martial arts, and active flexibility. Most of all, I train consistently, and I train like a beast. Most people, they're not ready for all that though, so the short answer is, I train like a beast. This guy. If you followed me or watched my videos long enough, you know that my whole training philosophy is centered around being an all-around athlete and bringing the intensity during your training. Athletes, they want to excel in whatever they're doing, whatever competition they're doing. So they want to be the fastest, they want to be the quickest, the strongest, the toughest, etc., etc. Even if you're not competing in anything right now, if you're one of those people that wants to push forward, that wants to go out of that comfort zone, that really wants to push their limits, then you too should train like an athlete, and I want to show you how. So with all that being said, going forward, I want to create a series of videos that's going to teach you how to train like an athlete. And today, we're going to cover the fundamentals of jumping. I'll give you 2 benefits of why you should incorporate explosive jumping into your training, and then we'll get to the gains. Jumping is an explosive full-body movement that recruits and trains the type 2 muscle fibers within your body. Without going too crazy in depth about it, type 2 muscle fibers are the muscle fibers that are recruited when you're doing high-intensity explosive work. Think of the physique of Olympic sprinters, lions, or I'm not trying to brag, but myself. We're built this way because your body molds to the type of resistance that you place on it. The Olympic sprinter uses all his power to quickly run down the track. The lion is hunting and chasing down the gazelle. I myself might be sprinting to the chocolate truck before they close. In all 3 examples though, you can see the way that speed and power molds your body. Now compare these 3 physiques to somebody that does, say, endless amounts of cardio. Benefit number 2. Jumping builds speed, agility, quickness, spatial awareness, and power. Most people jump incorrectly, so they don't know the benefits of jumping or even really think about them. But I promise you, if you're jumping with precision and explosiveness and power, then it's a ton of work. Alright, so I've done enough talking. I know you're ready for gains. Let's hop to it. Alright gangsters, so how to train like an athlete one-on-one. Okay, so before we get into any jumps or any explosive movements or any sprints, the first thing to note is you always want to be in a good athletic position, right? So if you think about any sport like basketball, track, football, wrestling, you'll never see anybody just standing straight up. Like you're never going to come straight from this position and go into a jump or go into any kind of sprint. You're always going to be here. You're always going to be loaded, right? So imagine my feet are shoulder width apart, I'm on the balls of my feet and I have a bounce. So here I'm ready, I can explode in that direction, I can explode in that direction, I can go into an explosive jump, I can do whatever. Okay, so a good way to think about it, like I said, you never want to be standing straight up. So if I was going to come and I was going to push you, if I was going to push you hard, you should never just like stumble and fall backwards, right? You should be in a good athletic position. If I push you, the only thing that's going to happen is your foot comes back and then you're back in that athletic position. If I push you here, your foot comes back and you're back in that athletic position. So I was a wrestler, right? So in wrestling, we were always here. We're always low. I'm on the balls of my feet so I can quickly accelerate in any direction. Alright, so that's the first thing. You always want to be in an athletic position. So never just standing straight up. Like, I don't know, if you played sports, you remember if a coach ever saw you just standing straight up, they would make you run laps or do up downs. So same concept here. Whenever you're doing explosive work for your sport, or if you're just doing conditioning, you always want to stay low. You always want to be on the balls of your feet, shoulder width, ready to explode in any direction. That's the first thing.
Man, it is getting dark out here and I'm extra black, so I hope y'all can see me. I think y'all can.
Alright, there we go. I think y'all can see me pretty clearly now. Okay? So the next thing that we're going to learn is to load the hips, right? To load the hips and generate maximum power. Okay, so the best example I can give you is think of a rubber band, right? So if the rubber band is loose, that's you standing straight up, you have no power there. But as soon as you start to load your hips, as soon as you start to stretch the rubber band, then you have power, then you can start to explode up, right? So we start in that good athletic position. So this is just like a static movement. I'm just sitting here. But when I start that movement, make it dynamic, then that's when I can generate that power, right? So I'll show you how that looks. Right, so I'm here, and this is all related to vertical jumps and forward jumps, any kind of jumps. right? So I'm here. I load my hips, then I'm up with max power, right? I'm stretching my rubber band and I'm exploding up. So I'm here, my feet are good shoulder width apart, I'm loading my hips, and then I'm up, right? So if I come here, if I only load my hips here, this is not max power. And you're gonna have to find that sweet spot eventually. You're gonna have to, just the more you practice, you'll find that spot, right? So if I come here, I can still have power down here, but this is not optimal. So just the more you practice, the more you'll find that sweet spot where you can just spring forward and just have explosive power, right? So right about here is where it's gonna be at, right? So I'm here, I load my hips, and then I'm up. Explosive. All right, guys, so first we worked on our good athletic position, right, where we always want to be at. Next, we worked on generating power through the hips, loading the hips so we can be explosive like a rubber band. The last thing we're going to work on is our landing, right? Our landing, and then also making these movements flow together, because we're not just going to do one jump at a time, but we're going to add in multiple jumps, we're going to add in sprints, we're going to add in push-ups, we're going to add in a bunch of different movements. So you have to work on making these movements all flow together. So I'm going to do the jump 2 different ways, and I want you to tell me if you can spot the difference. So this is one of the biggest things that people miss out when they do their jumps. So I'm going to do 2 different ways. You tell me if you can spot the difference. All right. So here's jumps number 1. All right. So all right. That's the first way to do it. Next one. Alright, which one looks better? You said the second set of jumps look better, then you'd be correct, right? And the reason for that is because the first set of jumps, they were all segmented. I was all stopping my momentum, right? I'm just losing all my power and resetting after each jump. But the second one, I was continuous, right? So think of it like a boxer, right? If he just throws a jab, then he resets. Then he throws another jab, then he resets. He's one-dimensional, but you can expand your movement, you can expand your capacity for work and start throwing jabs and crosses and hooks and everything, right? So it's the same thing. If I was gonna do a challenging set, I could do something like this. I can do like a vertical jump, right into a 180 jump, right into a push-up, right into another vertical jump, right into a 180 jump, right? So imagine if I tried to do that segmented, it would just be ugly. I'd need to do a vertical jump, then I'd stop, then do a 180 jump, then go into a push-up, then my push-up is segmented, and that's just not optimal. You want to do these movements quick, explosive, you want to make everything flow together. Of course, you're not going to get to that point right away, so you just have to work on the basics. All right, so there it is. That's explosive jump training 101. Okay, so I'm going to leave some more information in the description of this video for you. I'm going to leave you like some sets and reps that you can work on and just like reinforce everything I talked about, all the basics. But let's go over it one more time, right? Okay, so I'm here. I'm always in a good athletic position. You know, I'm on the balls of my feet. I'm ready to explode in any direction. All right, so I'm gonna come here, I'm like a rubber band. I load my hips at the optimal position, right? So I'm not too low, I'm not too high, but just perfect. All right, so I'm jumping, I land just in that same athletic position, right back in the squat, and I'm ready to go. And I make sure that I breathe in through the nose, out the mouth. All right, so let's continue to work on that. We're gonna nail that, get that strong, then we'll progress from there. All right, let's get that work. All right, guys, so thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate all you that are moving forward and, of course, getting that 1% ready each day. All right, so if you have any questions, leave them down below. I hope to make many more videos like this, so let me know if you guys enjoy training like an athlete. And as always, have a gainful day.